So this is my review of Buffy the Vampire Slayer Season 1. And the song I'm playing has absolutely nothing to do with it. I just like nice, free, public domain song stuff. And let's face it, I did this review only with my voice. My voice isn't really that interesting and nobody would care. So, stop. So, Buffy Season 1, episode Who Cares? Buffy starts off as an idea of a blonde girl who walks into an alley, monster hops up, and instead of running away like people in the 80s and 90s were bored with girls running away from monsters and stuff, she punches the monster. That's kind of the creative inspiration for one of TV's best, if not the best, TV shows of all time. So, the first scene of the series, Buffy, begins with Darla. Have you ever watched Dexter? You know, his wife, the hot one. That's Darla. Imagine her as a schoolgirl with bangs. Awesomeness, and awesome. It's a low budget, mid 90s series replacement to something. And it only has 12 episodes, so the quality isn't that good, but they use it to its fullest potential. The first scene, starts off with a horny teenager, I'm gonna kill you thing. Darla lures a kid into the high school, it's night, and she like drinks him. That's awesome. And it probably made a whole bunch of teenage boys very horny at the time. So, next scene, Buffy starts off her high school. She meets Xander, she meets Giles, she meets the principal and mentions that, oh, no, the thing I burned down, the building I burned down was full of vampire, asbestos and stuff, which is a hint at the movie version of Buffy, which was a very horrible thing, and we should never ever watch that thing, because no, and no. Fuck you, director. Fuck you. You should have been fucking Josh Whedon's slave and things, and whatever. So, the first episode sets off the evil villain who's like a guy in makeup, but he's serious in his acting, which is good. Darla's there, and there's an angel replacement. If you're not a fan of the show, you have absolutely no idea what I'm talking about, but who cares? There's a second rank bad guy who we think is probably gonna be the protagonist in the next couple of episodes, but then he dies in the second episode. and it's awesome. It's a very, very awesome bad guy dies scene. Buffy fights him in this club, and then there's this staking using like a billiard stick thing. Everything's awesome, but it also has this one tiny problem. You see, this show is centered around Buffy, a librarian-looking dude called Giles, and her two best friends, Xander and Willow. And Xander and Willow are regular high school kids. Before Willow becomes a super witch, bisexual, or possibly lesbian. I'm not sure if she's a lesbian or a bisexual. I think she's a bisexual. A bisexual mega witch. And Willow, essentially, she and Xander have this third best friend who dies in the opening of the first season. And there's absolutely no zilch emotional consequence to his death, which is really sad because he's not that much of an expendable actor. I mean, I've seen him in Haven and on the Sci-Fi Channel as a older actor, but he's not that expendable. You shouldn't be all expendably, I don't remember that guy, with your friends and whatever. So that's it. So, first season is straightforward, very villain of the week vibe to things. It sets up pretty much the entire rest of the next 5 or 6 seasons. It's really clear what they're setting up and whatever. There's a witch episode, there's a praying mantis episode, there's a weird sort of guy who could be a love interest, but he's not because he's expendable episode, and Buffy uses the guy in episode 5, I think, to piss off her actual love interest, who's this 240-year-old vampire who she likes named Angel, who has a tattoo on his back, but we never ever see that tattoo in the future of this Buffy universe ever again, which could be because after Buffy dies and a new Slayer is born, he gets a sunlight-ish burn, so maybe that tattoo burned off his... who cares? Essentially, it's this setup for a very, very, very awesome teen series. Every episode you have a new baddie, and every episode you slightly evolve the relationship between your characters. Buffy and Angel. Buffy finds out that Angel is a vampire. Angel stays at Buffy's place and she thinks he read her diary or whatever. Things, bad stuff, whatever. It mostly sets up the second season, which is way more exciting than this one. with the sexual jokes and whatever. And we get to see a ton of stuff. We get to see bad people doing things. We get to see hyenas taking over Xander. We get to see an episode where Buffy dream walks with a kid, and we get to see this demon who's like a cyber pedophile. And in the end, essentially, Buffy dies, but she gets resurrected, and it's very important because after she died and came back to life in the second season, she experienced trauma and whatever. Basically, watch the first two episodes, episode 7 and the last 2 or 3 episodes. If you don't care about Villain of the Week stuff, the overall arc of the story could have been a singular movie-length episode that amazes you, and that's it.